Mid-side EQ, a topic that my stream wanted me to cover, and here I am making a YouTube video about it. It is where you independently EQ the mid and the side separate from each other. You're not doing some stereo left-right EQ, you are doing the mid and the side, aka the vertical and the horizontal. Or if I show you with some props, so you the listener right now, you're listening to me speaking, all around captured by this microphone here. However, if I speak to you like this, you're hearing my voice traveling through high budget right now, this toilet roll tube thing. You're hearing the mid, okay? This is the mid. Now, that is what you would hear in a vertical aspect, but in a horizontal aspect, this is what you would hear. This is the side. So we have mid, which is vertical, and side, which is horizontal. Obviously, you want most of your information to be in the mid because that's where the clarity and that's where the direction of the sound is traveling. And the side is kind of like the extra stereo imaging that you want to add on top. So by independently EQing them separately from each other, you're able to balance out the mix, get everything in the right position, and also crucially, if you're collapsing to mono for a nightclub sound system, you want to make sure that the mid has all of the information that you want to collapse to mono. If you have everything in the side, when it collapses to mono, it's going to be silent. We don't want silence. We want a banging tune. Also, I want to let you know that I have launched the pre-sale to my Ableton Live course. So if you want to grab a huge discount and learn from an expert, fast track your learning so that you can get on with making music. And I highly recommend and believe in the value of courses. If you invest in them, if you pay and invest your time in a course, which will speed up your learning, it will get you to acquire that skill a lot faster than if you just spent time trying to research that by yourself. Courses are so valuable, and that is why I have put an Ableton Live course together. So if you do like my presenting style, check out the link below and save yourself a huge discount as we are on the pre-sale at the moment before the course goes live. Yeah! I made an Ableton course. Sick! Let's jump into Ableton. I'm going to show you how to do mid-side EQ in EQ8, and then we're also going to take a look at a third-party plugin, Pro-Q 3. Timestamps to this video are below in the description, so if you want to skip to your favorite section, maybe you just want to learn how to do mid-side EQ in Pro-Q 3, then please feel free to skip. If you don't know anything about mid-side EQ, I recommend that you stay right here. So the first EQ that we're going to look at is EQ8. It is a stock EQ native to Ableton, and it's a parametric EQ, which is probably the most common type of EQ. So is Pro-Q 3, it's a parametric EQ, and it works by splitting the bands using these little nodes here. So by default, it's in stereo. So if I move one of these nodes up and do a high shelf, that is now going to amplify the sound in not only the left, but the right and the mid and the side and just everything. The entire stereo image is now going to be amplified in the highs by this high shelf. And the same with here and with here, because the mode, if you look on the right, is in stereo. So if we change this now to left, right, you'll see that we have edit, L, and edit, right. So I just clicked on that button there, L and R. So this is now editing the signal independently left and right. So left and right. So now this L is this band here. So we're amplifying the highs in just the left image. And if I click on R, we're now reducing the volume in the right image. So that's just editing the left and right image separately from each other. If you click on mode again and come down to MS, you'll see now that it's mid-side, and these bands have changed because in edit it says S and it says M. So I'm just going to get a new EQ8 because I just want to have it all reset. So MS. So now edit mid and edit side. So mid is the central image. This is where the main focus of the track is, where the voices are, where your attention is as a listener. The vertical is the mid, and the side, that's the extra kind of icing on the cake, I guess, the extra stereo image. So with the mid, if you wanted to boost up a vocal, for example, say you wanted to boost a vocal here, you would increase in amplitude just the mid signal. So now we have more amplitude in the mid on the voice than we do in the side, because we still have the side here. If you look, if we change it to S, this line through the middle is the side. So we still have volume in the side. We just have this bump, which is more volume in the mid. So that's how you can shape your sounds and your instruments to focus more in the middle. And when you come to mixing, mono compatibility is so important, because a lot of nightclub sound systems will only output their signals in mono. So mono, if you think about it, mid, M, mono. Anything that's in the mid is going to be in your mono signal. Anything that's in the side, if it's louder than the mid, when you collapse it to mono, it's going to disappear. So if you've got more information in the side and you collapse it to mono, it's going to be silent, which is, it's not good for a nightclub. You want to hear your music on the PA system. So we can see that we have a mid boost on this frequency band on the drums. If you click on M, it's there, it's present on the mid. And with drums, you have a full range of frequencies from the low kick drum all the way up to the high frequencies. So I'm going to show you how you might do some mid-side EQ on an entire drum break. And the first thing to note is that the low frequencies in any music, or just in sound in general, for the human ear, we can't perceive a sense of direction with low frequencies. So if we don't have a sense of direction, you may as well roll off those low frequencies in the sides and just keep them in the middle in mono, because we don't know what direction those low subby frequencies are coming from. So let's do a high pass filter in the side. So come to edit and click on S, and we're going to activate the first band, and then we're just going to roll it off up to here. So now we still have the mid content, but now the side content is from 190 hertz up only. So let's play it. This is without. So already we have a lot more control in that mid band by high passing with the sides. Now at the top here, this is where your brightness is, and you might want to do a high shelf at the top. So let's do this, and we could increase on the side some frequencies. So now in the side image, we have some higher frequencies. Let's play. As we've amplified the side image, we might want to reduce the mid image. So come down, let's activate this band. And let's pull down the shelf on the mid. So now we've compensated for that boost on the side. And if you come over to the mid-range section, so the bit in the middle, this is where the human ear perceives stereo width the most. So whatever you do in this middle part, humans are going to hear that a lot more than if you did it at the upper frequencies. So I'm going to bring this mid-band down, and I'm actually going to go back onto the side, and I'm going to boost up the side here. So this is going to sound a lot more noticeable than the boost on the higher frequencies. So you could hear there in the stereo image, especially on the side, a lot of those frequencies were boosted. So we could boost up the sides. I'm just going to narrow the Q. We could boost up the sides just here. So we're adding some more stereo. could be one way that you would mid-side EQ your drum break. Let's jump into Pro-Q 3 and I will show you how you can mid-side EQ on a vocal. And if you are an Ableton user, I just want to remind you again of the pre-sale, a huge discount on my Ableton live course. The link is in the description. If you're new to Ableton, or even if you are just an Ableton user and you want to get a complete understanding of the entire DAW so that you can record, track, produce, and export your own music, I've got everything to fast track your production journey in the course. Huge discount, pre-sale link in the description. Into Pro-Q 3 then. So we're going to look at this vocal. I'm going to just turn off the drums. Here's the vocal. So with the vocal, you want the vocal to not only collapse into mono and be playable on a sound system in a nightclub or in wherever you are playing your music, you want to make sure that's collapsed to mono. So make sure that the mid is there and it's present, but also you don't really want any of the low frequencies congesting with your drum kit because that's going to just create some muddiness. And we can see on the Pro-Q 3 at the moment, we have some low frequencies. So the main fundamental of the first voice is around here. So we can start to do a high pass filter, a low cut. Let's increase the band slope. Cool. So this is on stereo because we just want to remove all of the frequencies in that low end. We don't want to do any mid-side EQ like what we did with the drum kit. We want to just get rid of everything. So now we have our stereo high pass. We can start to look at mid-side EQ. And to get to mid-side EQ, you just double click to add a band and you can either right click and come down to stereo placement, or you could come down to here and you can select either left, right, stereo, mid, or side. So if we select mid, we now have another green line together with our stereo high pass filter. So now if we increase the M, you can see that the mid frequencies for that band have been increased. And mid frequencies on a vocal you might want to increase are the bits where the clarity is in the vocal. So the plosives, the p-t-p-g-d. That is where the clarity of the voice is, where you can distinguish between each individual word. So we're going to bring the mid up to around here, which is 3 to 5K. Those plosives tend to sit around there. If we play it now. And also you might want to add another band on the mid. So you can see now it's actually added it on the stereo. So we need to right click stereo placement and mid. We want to add a mid band in the low frequencies of the voice, the main body of the voice. So we're increasing the body, the back, the chest, and we're also increasing the plosives. So now we have more information in the mid than in the side. We still have side information, but we have boosted those bands in the mid. We are more secure when we collapse to mono on a sound system because we've boosted up those mid frequencies. Now you might want to also boost up the sides, because if you want to just raise the sides a little bit for any stereo listening experience, that'll be really nice for the listener. So if we boost the sides, if we add a band here, you can see it's still done it on stereo. So right click and go to side. And now we've got a high shelf on the sides. Let's just change the Q. So we've elevated the image just in the sides and not in the mid. So far what we've done is we have just boosted everything. Now you might want to use mid-side EQ to cut. So if we come back onto the drums, we can now see that our EQ8 is boosted in the sides and also in the sides here, but we have our vocal that is also boosted here as well. So we've now got similar frequency bands potentially competing with each other. So if you come back into the drums, you might want to go onto the mid band and maybe cut the drums here where the voice sits in the mid, and come here and cut it here in the mid. Just some cuts so you could give that voice a place to sit where you've boosted it in the middle. Let's play the two tracks together so we can hear. So now they're starting to fit more cohesively with each other, and you've carved out using mid-side EQ. It's great for stereo imaging, it's great for mono compatibility, and it's also great for mixing, for getting all of your tracks to fit seamlessly together. I'm Becky Saif. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got something from it. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, and dropping me a comment to let me know what you thought. You know what to do. Ableton Live course pre-sale is in the description. Check out all the links in the description as well, as you can join the Twitch and Discord community. Come say hi. Come join our fantastic group of people. And I will see you for another video. Da da da. That is it. We have done. Yeah.